Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you for joining us on Velayat News. I'm Abroo Sabzwari, and now to the top headlines for today. The Egyptian army calls for unity after overthrowing President Mohammed Morsi. Russia increasingly impatient over Snowden's airport stay. The death toll in Indonesia's earthquake rises to 30. In Iraq, at least 5 people have been killed and more than 20 injured in bomb attacks. In Egypt's Sinai Peninsula, an attack on a police post kills 1 and injures at least 3. Yesterday, the 4th of July, marked the United States Independence Day. Celebrations took place under watchful eyes. And now, the news in detail. The Egyptian army has called for unity after overthrowing President Mohammed Morsi in a coup and replacing him with the country's top judge. In a statement released Friday, the army said it wants to ensure national reconciliation, constructive justice, and tolerance. The statement also said that people can enjoy their right to protest as long as they do not use that right excessively, warning that going beyond peaceful demonstrations could threaten social peace and damage security. The Army's statement comes after hundreds of arrest warrants were issued for leaders of the Muslim Brotherhood group. On Thursday, Muslim Brotherhood Supreme Leader Mohammed Badi was also arrested by the Egyptian military police in a resort village in the western city of Marsa Matruh. Morsi, who was removed from office late on Wednesday, is reportedly held preventively by the military. An army official said that Morsi might face formal charges over accusations made by his opponents. The Chief Justice of Supreme Constitutional Court, Adli Mansour, was sworn in as interim president of Egypt. In a ceremony held on Thursday in the Supreme Constitutional Court building in Cairo, Mansour swore to preserve the system of the republic and respect the Constitution and law and guard the people's interests. After rising levels of impatience over the former U.S. spy agency contractor Edward Snowden's transit stay in a Moscow airport, a Russian official says Snowden should find another country to seek refuge in. Deputy Foreign Minister Sergei Ryabkov said Russia had received no request for political asylum from Snowden and he had to solve his problems himself after 11 days in the transit area of Moscow's Sheremetyevo airport. President Vladimir Putin has refused to extradite the American. However, Moscow has also made it clear that Snowden is an increasingly unwelcome guest because the longer he stays, the greater the risk of the diplomatic standoff causing lasting damage to relations with Washington. Ryabkov told Reuters that he needs to choose a place to go and added that as of this moment, we do not have a formal application from Mr. Snowden asking for asylum in the Russian Federation. On Monday, President Putin said Snowden could only be granted asylum by Moscow if he agreed to stop actions that could harm the United States. Putin's press secretary Dmitry Peskov said Snowden had withdrawn his interest in asylum in Russia after Putin spelled out the terms. In a message to Obama on the U.S. Independence Day, Putin said the United States and Russia shared a special responsibility for global security and counterterrorism, and that he is certain they can agree on key issues despite differences. A powerful earthquake that struck Indonesia's Aceh province earlier this week has left at least 30 people dead and more than 200 injured. According to a Thursday statement by the National Disaster Management Agency, at least 275 people were injured and over 4,300 houses and buildings were damaged. Rescuers have reportedly been searching for over a dozen of the missing people. According to the Geological Survey, the 6.1 magnitude quake hit at a depth of 10 kilometers on Tuesday. The epicenter was situated 55 kilometers west of the city of Beruin. Indonesia sits on the Pacific Ring of Fire, a region known for its seismic and volcanic activity caused by friction between shifting tectonic plates. An 8.7 magnitude earthquake hit off the provincial capital Banda Aceh in May 2012, triggering regional tsunami alerts. In December 2004, Indonesia was hit by the hardest, a giant 9.1 magnitude earthquake and a tsunami, which killed an estimated 170,000 people in Aceh province. In Iraq, at least 5 people have been killed and 20 others injured in a separate attack. On Thursday evening, a bomber rammed an explosives-laden car into a police patrol vehicle in Tuz Hormatu, 130 miles north of Baghdad. The attack killed 2 policemen and injured 19 people, 15 civilians and 4 policemen. Earlier in the day, in a southeastern neighborhood of Baghdad, unidentified gunmen fired upon a moving car, leaving 1 physician dead and another injured. Also on Thursday, a female medical doctor was shot dead while traveling in her car in the Zafraniya district in southern Baghdad, according to an official who also added that a security guard was killed by a gunman in the same district. The incidents are the latest in a string of attacks across Iraq that have left more than 2,000 people dead since the beginning of April. At least 1 soldier has been killed and 3 others injured in an attack on a police station in Egypt's Sinai Peninsula. According to an Egyptian security source who spoke on condition of anonymity, the casualties came after assailants fired rocket-propelled grenades at the police post near the military intelligence station in the border town of Rafah in North Sinai. The assailants also fired rocket-propelled grenades at army stations which guard Al Arish International Airport. The attacks come after the Egyptian army ousted the country's first elected president, Mohamed Morsi, in a coup on Wednesday and replaced him with the country's top judge. Yesterday, July 4th, marked the United States Independence Day. Americans celebrated together in parades, fireworks, and picnics held under unprecedented security following the Boston Marathon bombings. A fireworks display lit up the National Mall in Washington as a packed crowd of onlookers listened to booming cannons. President Barack Obama led Washington's celebrations, which included a concert on the National Mall, by hosting members of the U.S. military and their families on the south lawn of the White House. The crowd of about 1,200 were treated to a barbecue and a concert by the president's own Marine band. Spectators waving U.S. flags and wearing red, white, and blue headed for gatherings in Boston, New York, Washington, Atlanta, and other cities under the watch of police armed with chemical detectors, radiation scanners, and camera surveillance, precautions sparked by the deadly April 15th bombings. Amid controversy over revelations about the National Security Agency, some marked the United States' 237th birthday by demanding respect for its founding principles. In Birmingham, Alabama, about 50 demonstrators gathered under intermittent rain and thunderstorms for a Restore the Fourth protest, a reference to the U.S. Constitution's Fourth Amendment protections against unreasonable searches and seizures to denounce the NSA surveillance programs. Joe Kyle, a high school teacher in New Jersey, said Edward Snowden should be celebrated, not persecuted. 4th of July celebrations mark some of the largest public gatherings since bombs exploded at the Boston Marathon, the biggest attack on American soil since attacks on the World Trade Center and Pentagon on September 11, 2001. And that brings us to the end of our bulletin today. If you'd like to contribute your community's news, you can email us at news@VelayatTV.org. You can also get the latest headlines and more by visiting our website, VelayatTV.org, or subscribe to and follow us on our YouTube and Facebook pages, Velayat TV USA. Many thanks for joining us. Till next time, I'm Abroo Sabzwari. Fi amanillah.